Real Housewives of Philadelphia. Welcome to my kitchen. My name is Sue Faber and I live in Oakville, Ontario. I am a mom of 3 little girls. My youngest is 6 months and I have an 8-year-old and a 6-year-old as well. I love cooking, and I started cooking when I was really young. My mom brought me right into the kitchen. I actually remember standing on top of a chair and coming right next to her, and she would be dicing and I would have my own little knife, quite a dull little knife, and I would be dicing as well. And it was through that interaction that I started gaining and developing this real love for food and good food. I have a recipe for you today that I think you'll really like. This is a side dish which features Philadelphia chive and onion cream cheese, and I've named this dish Chive and Onion Creamy Rice Pilaf. So the first thing we're going to do for this recipe is we're going to use these tiny little pastas. Okay, they're called capellini noodles, and I've actually started sauteing them on the pan here, and you can see how just sauteing over medium heat they become a nice brown color. Okay, so I'm just going to saute them for a little bit longer on my stovetop because I want that brown color to be even throughout. Just stir that around. Now when you are sauteing this, you have to make sure that you don't leave it alone and go do something else because it'll burn very quickly, and it only takes a couple of minutes. So just be patient and stay by your stovetop. A little bit more about me. As I shared with you, I started cooking when I was 6, but when I was 8 years old, our family moved to Singapore, and that was a life-changing time in my life. I still remember around 9 years old going to the local market all by myself, and I remember going into that market and there were these ladies and men with just this bounty of fresh produce, and then there were the chickens and the fishmongers, and I would go there all by myself and select veggies and fruit and meat. I still remember they'd put everything in these little bags, and I would bring them home to my mom. You know, times have changed since then. I certainly wouldn't send my 9-year-old daughter to any market alone by herself. But that time in Singapore was a real forming time for me, and I really started to learn and gain so much and a real appreciation for good food and for cooking. Okay, you can see how this capellini is turning this nice brown, roasty, toasted color, and that's what you want. One thing that's really important about cooking is different textures and colors and flavors. And so I'm adding this to my rice, and it's just going to give my rice another dimension, another color. Okay, that's done, so I'm just going to turn the stove off. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is just take a larger pot here and turn that on. Whoops, wrong element. There we go, on medium heat. And to that I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. So I've pre-measured that in this little bowl here. And I want that to become nice and hot. And to that I'm going to add some fresh garlic. Now I've gone ahead and pressed these garlic cloves already just to save some time. So I'm just going to add the garlic to my pan, or to my pot. And you don't want it to burn, so again, you have to just be, careful and watch it quite closely. And soon my whole kitchen is just going to be filled with this lovely, fragrant, garlicky smell, which everybody loves. Okay, so as this garlic is going here, this is perfect. Nice sauteed garlic, okay? And to that, I'm going to add 1 cup of basmati rice. I really enjoy using basmati rice. It's long grain, it's really fragrant, and it keeps its form too when cooked. It doesn't become mushy. So that's why I'm using basmati rice in this recipe. And also just the influence of Asia is in my blood. So I love using jasmine, basmati, any rice from overseas. Okay, so we're just going to add the rice to that. And then we're also adding the capellini, and this is half a cup of capellini. Okay, so just pop that in there as well. And we're just going to continue sauteing all of it together. So as you can see already, you can see that the noodles and the rice together, already there's some really nice rich colors going on here. So I just want the oil to coat each little piece of rice. Okay, to that I'm going to add 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And I'm just going to turn down my heat. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is take some chicken broth. I have 2 3/4 cups of standard chicken broth in this bowl here, and what I've done is I put it in the microwave for about 2 minutes to heat it up to make it nice and warm. Then I'm going to take my tub of Philly Chive and Onion cream cheese, and I'm just going to put it right into my chicken stock. The lovely thing about Philly cream cheese is that it incorporates so beautifully into whatever recipe you're using. So now I'm going to just use a whisk and just slowly start to incorporate the two together. And already it just smells wonderful with the onion and the chive in there. And you can see it's becoming nice and creamy. So I just want to give it a good stir for a few minutes here. Okay, so this is basically the cooking liquid which my rice and vermicelli noodles are going to be cooking in. Okay, and that's all. Very simple. Okay, I'm going to crank up the heat just a little bit here. And to that I'm going to add my creamy cooking liquid mixture. And you can hear it sizzle and bubble. That's perfect. And you want to bring that to a boil. And it really has almost come to a boil, so I'm just going to ensure that it does do that. Okay, so as you can see here, it's coming to a boil. So now what we want to do is just crank the heat right down. Okay, so it becomes a nice simmer. And put the lid on. So it's been just over 20 minutes, about 23 minutes to be exact, that my rice has been cooking. And I'm just going to take the lid off here. And you can see how beautiful that is. Nice and creamy and bubbling. And my rice is done. So I'm going to take it off of the stovetop and give it a good stir. Now I did stir it once in between, around 12 minutes. I just gave it a quick stir just to incorporate the liquid in there, okay? So the next thing I'm going to do is take it, I just want you to have a closer look here. It's almost like a risotto kind of an idea. It's very creamy and velvety and smooth. I know this is going to be a favorite side dish for your family, a great accompaniment to chicken or beef. Anyway, what we're going to do is just stir it on into put it onto my serving dish. Okay. Just want to get all the rice there. And then I want to add a little bit more color and a few extra flavors. So what I'm going to do is add some roasted pistachios, unsalted roasted pistachios. And I'm also going to add some dried cranberries. Okay, we're just going to spoon that through. We just want it for that to be evenly incorporated throughout the rice. And you can see how the green and the red just give it that extra color, which is so, so pretty, especially when serving. Okay, the last thing we're going to do is take some fresh chives that I got from my garden. I'm just going to cut, maybe a tablespoon or two of those to sprinkle on top. And that'll complement the chive in the cream cheese, which I added to the rice. And again, just give it a beautiful color. Well, I'm really, really thankful that I had this opportunity to share this recipe with you. I have another recipe coming up for the entrees next week, and I'm going to share a little bit about my story then. So there we've got the chives. We're going to add just a few more pistachios on top, sprinkle those, even more color, and a few cranberries as well. And voila, here is the rice dish. Thank you very much.